Alright guys, in this video I'm gonna share with you my two main reasons why I picked Vietnam for my long-term travel. There are two very good reasons for me personally why I picked this country, not only for like a 1 week or 2 week travel, but really for long term. At the moment you can only travel on a 1 month visa. It used to be a 3 months visa as far as I know, but they have not changed it yet. So I have to do this 1 month visa thing, then exiting the country and coming back. But why did I pick Vietnam? First of all, Vietnam is good for your costs. It's a very cost-effective country. Yeah, everything is very cheap and affordable here compared to other Southeast Asian countries. This is really my main reason. Yeah, I will do a separate video about the costs of living and food and everything else. I will do that. In this video I just want to give you a brief overview about the cost situation. So compared to other countries like Thailand or even the Philippines, I find Vietnam very affordable. Probably there are other countries like Cambodia. I've never been to Cambodia, or even Myanmar or Laos, where things are even cheaper. But you have to compare also you have to look at the big picture, the infrastructure, and also the whole package. You know, so Vietnam is great. Cost of living is very low, especially now. Vietnam just has opened up again a few months ago, and as you can imagine, also this country and the tourism industry here has been suffering greatly. They have been suffering greatly to a big extent. They're still suffering. Here in Nha Trang, as I mentioned in my previous video, especially Nha Trang, for example, is a very tourist-oriented city. Everything is based here on tourism, especially from based on Russian, Korean and Chinese guests. The Russians are not coming, the Chinese are not coming at the moment for the reasons we all know, but Koreans are coming back or have been coming back. Now you see them more and more. I've also seen them in Da Nang, where I just spent a few days. So that's good for me in a sense that it's deflationary, because there's an oversupply, for example, on accommodation and restaurants and things like that. So of course, you know, the competition is high. Everybody wants to make a quick buck here, and so they're competing with the cost. So this is good for me, because there are barely Western tourists in this city here. I can confirm this as we speak. I think it's picking up now, but it will take a few more months at least. But I came here the first time 3 years ago in 2019, and I can confirm it was almost the same situation. Food was very cheap, accommodation was very, very cheap, and you get really good accommodation. I'm not talking about some shithole, some cockroach infested places. No. You get really, really great deals on Airbnb, but also now in the local hotels, because the local hotels, they're all opening up now. They have opened up, and of course they are fighting and competing for guests. And here in Nha Trang, for example, you have thousands of, probably tens of thousands of hotel rooms, and they cannot fill these hotel rooms. So they have to push down the prices. But in general, very affordable country. I like the Vietnamese food. I usually buy it on the market here. You know, you can buy fresh food, fruit and vegetables and things. Very, 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 very affordable. Not like in other countries like Thailand. When you go to these certain tourist destinations, you're being ripped off, you know, when you go to the restaurants and stuff like that. That's what I find. Also, the infrastructure. Vietnam is really a well-developed country in Southeast Asia, I must say, and it is improving. I lived in Malaysia, I lived in the Philippines, I lived in Indonesia. All countries are kind of similar, except Singapore, of course, and Hong Kong. But Vietnam, and this is also one thing, I think Vietnam is still underrated. And as far as I know, in 2018, 2019, it was still like a secret tip among expats. Yeah, And it's true, even today, Vietnam is not really on the radar of many expatriates, many people, expatriates and tourists, but also expatriates or people who want to retire. I think they have Thailand in mind, they have the Philippines in mind, but nobody really has Vietnam on his or her radar. I think it's coming now slowly, or it has been coming, and probably that's why Vietnam is still kind of affordable, because you do not have so much retirees here and tourists and these kind of things, these kind of folks. So I take advantage of this, and yeah, prices are similar. Thailand is more expensive, definitely, because they are fully focused on tourism and they're fully focused to rip off tourists also. Yeah, we all know that in certain areas and places. It's just a rip off, as I find. And that's not okay. I don't agree to that. And here in Vietnam, I don't have the feeling that people are ripping me off. Yeah, only one time, and that happened just recently in Da Nang, just a few days ago, when I was on the search for some fresh apples, and I needed to buy some fresh apples, and I couldn't find a market, so I went to one local food shop, a street food stall kind of thing, and I saw some apples lying around there, and I asked this lady if I can just buy the apple, because she used this apple to make juice. So I said, I just need the apple, I don't want a juice. And she sold me the apple, so I said, I need 3 apples, I want to buy these 3. And she put them into a small plastic bag, and then I asked how much, and she said 70,000 dong, which is almost $3. I was shocked, because here in Nha Trang, for example, if you go to the local market, if you buy 3 apples, I don't know what you pay, maybe $1 or something, maybe 25,000 dong. So that was definitely a rip-off. I mean, $3 for 3 apples. This is not even what you pay in Germany or in other Western countries. Anyway, but in general, here in Nha Trang, in this city, I've never had any experience that somebody wants to rip me off. No, not at all. Of course, when you go to these Western style supermarkets, which are also around, then prices are higher. But this is not because only the prices are not made only for the Western people. Also, when Vietnamese folks go shopping there, they also have to pay the same price. So if you want to be smart, you buy your food on the local market. That is also then organic anyway. Yeah, we call it organic today, but actually this is how it's supposed to be. Like how they grow their food for thousands of years in their backyards, on the fields. You can buy anything: tomatoes, cucumbers, melons, these exotic fruits. So this is very, very good for my budget, since I am a minimalist, and I also will do a separate video about this in the future, about my minimalist lifestyle, what it is, what it's all about, and I will explain this in a different video. But if you are a minimalist, and also if you are a budget traveler, a minimalist and a budget traveler is not the same. There are similarities, but there's 2 different things. But if you are either a minimalist or a budget traveler, then I highly suggest Vietnam for the just mentioned reasons. The other thing, of course, is the location. Vietnam is a beautiful country, underrated, absolutely. And I worked in Hanoi many years ago. I stayed there for 1 year, and today I regret it a little bit, because during that time I just was working, just was focused on my work. I didn't look left or right, and so I spent 1 year in Hanoi and don't have many memories, because I just was working. And that's a pity, because Vietnam is such a beautiful country to explore. It's amazing how many things you can really see here and explore, and so many nice beaches and so many more things to see, and a lot of culture also. So many beautiful places. I just came back from Hoi An, another very famous tourist destination. Da Nang is beautiful. This is just a small part of the entire country. There's so much to explore. This country is not so much touristy or tourist oriented like other, maybe Thailand or something like that. So yeah, and it's affordable. And it's clean also. Vietnam, what I also like are the people. The people are actually very organized. They are clean people. They keep their roads clean. They swipe them in the morning. And Vietnamese people are very hardworking people. They are early birds. The other day when I was in Da Nang, I went to the beach at 5:45 in the morning because I wanted to experience the sunrise. And I really thought I'm going to be by myself, But when I came there at 5:45, the whole beach was packed with thousands of people. And this is the same what's happening here. So Vietnamese people are early birds. They wake up early. They do exercise a lot. That's very important. Vietnamese people love to exercise in the morning. That's very good because I also exercise. And they're taking care of themselves. They're exercising. They work very hard. They're always busy, And there are, as I find, organized people, because I also worked with them in Hanoi, so I had no issues with Vietnamese people. It was a lot of fun, and I also always recommend to other people, if you have the chance to work in Vietnam, then come here. You will enjoy it. Yeah, so these are basically my main 2 reasons why I'm here. As a minimalist, who I am, it's a very affordable location, destination. If you want to stay long term, I'm not talking about retirement. I'm not in the age range where I consider to retire, but yes, Vietnam is definitely on my radar. It is a country where I can imagine to live permanently. Absolutely, because for me personally, all my needs are basically fulfilled here, cost-wise, logistic-wise, infrastructure-wise, location-wise, climate-wise, nature-wise, beauty-wise, and also the people. I get along with these people here very well. I'm not saying that I did not get along with people from Malaysia or the Philippines. No, I'm getting along with a lot of people everywhere. But Vietnamese people are very easy to deal with, in my opinion. Yeah. The only thing is the language, which I have to learn. Vietnamese is a very difficult language. I just started to learn a little bit, and I have to confirm, yes, it's one of the most difficult languages to learn. Apparently, many foreigners also say the same thing, but I don't care. I will dive into this. I need to learn the language. This is also one thing here in Vietnam. People don't, so the English level is, compared to other countries like the Philippines, we don't need to talk about Singapore or Hong Kong, but when you compare it to the Philippines, forget it. Yeah, the English level is very, very low here, also among the young people. Yeah, the young people barely speak English. Some do. Okay, when you go into hotels, 5-star hotels or international restaurants, or you find people who speak English, because the staff there, they need to speak English, of course. But as soon you go out. You go to the local market, you go to the barber shop, you go to the local street food stall, you go to the night market, taxi drivers, you name it. You're gonna have great difficulties to communicate if you do not speak Vietnamese. And the Vietnamese also, in return, they don't speak English. Yeah. So if you really want to move forward here and succeed in this country, you have to adopt to the culture, and that includes that you learn the language. And I was always hesitant to learn, because when I worked in Hanoi, my staff, some of them, they spoke English, so I could survive and I could communicate. And they also helped me to translate all the time to my staff who did not speak English. So, and I also was kind of lazy. When some people speak English, then it's easy for me, and then it's an obstacle to learn. But here now, I also made this commitment. I will start to. I actually have started already. Very little, but I have started, and I practice it. I just speak a few words, but these few words I practice on a daily basis. And this is for me personally important, but also it's a challenge for me. I want to give myself a new challenge, and since Vietnamese is one of the hardest languages to learn, I will give it a try. And you have to learn the language if you want to really immerse yourself into this culture. And also I want to connect to the people. Without language you cannot connect. And that's the bullet I have to bite here, but it's a nice bullet because I challenge myself and I learn something new. And on top of that, I really can connect to the people, which is very important to me. Because if you connect to the people in general, everywhere, if you are able to really connect, and connection happens mostly through language, then I think you are much more accepted also by the people and among the people, and you learn many more things, you understand much more, not in terms only of language but also about the culture. And so this is very exciting, something new. I enrich myself, and and for everything is a price, right? Nothing comes for free, everything has its price, and there's no free lunch. So what do I mean by that? Very simple. If I want to learn about Vietnamese culture, the people, if I want to connect with them and immerse more deeply into this whole thing, then the price I have to pay is to study the language, at least that I can understand a little bit and communicate, on the local market or in the restaurant or with a taxi driver. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you have questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer everything, or give advice or tips, anything you want, anything you need. And stick around, and I will come up with future videos, as I mentioned, about my minimalist lifestyle and cost of living in Vietnam. I keep you all updated, and meanwhile also enjoy the other travel videos I post, from my trips and adventures here in Vietnam. And then have a good time. See you in the next video. Bye bye.